Have you ever looked at your GEPF statement, smiled at the figure you saw, believing that's exactly what you get when you retire? Now, what if I told you that might not be the case? Hi, I'm Devanika, a certified financial planner specializing in solutions for GEPF members. Now, over the years, I've seen far too many members shocked when they discover that their hard-earned savings could be a lot less than what's printed on their statement. Now, your GEPF statement is not just a piece of paper, but your future, your dreams, and the lifestyle that you envision in your retirement years. But they might not want you to know the full story. Buried in the fine print, there's a clause that could substantially reduce or erode your expected benefits. Now, in this video, I'm taking away the mystery of your GEPF statement. I'll unveil the hidden details, highlight potential pitfalls, and provide clarity on how your final payout is really calculated. This is the knowledge that you need to protect your retirement dreams. Now, don't let the concern or the unseen deductions catch you off guard. Equip yourself with the information to make the right decisions about your retirement. Let's get started straight away. I'm going to head over onto a GEPF statement so that you can see this is my test statement. And I want you to notice at the top of the statement, it's got a date. And this is the date that you should notice on your statement as well, right? So notice this says estimated a date of benefits, and this is as at 31 December 2018. However, your statement will be a lot more accurate, right? Will be more current to when you are viewing this. Now, in addition to that, I want you to notice the fine print that's listed at the bottom here. So notice they have on this statement, which should be your page 2, you'll see that there's a monthly pension amount. This is what they're providing as an annuity, which is an income, as well as a lump sum gratuity, right? So these are the figures that you are seeing at retirement. And then to the right of the statement, now this is information that we do not see, right? In fact, I'm shooting this video, recording this video just after having consulted with a member who made this exact mistake, right? So I want to make sure that you understand this so you don't make the same mistake as well. Notice what they're saying here. Normal retirement age is defined in terms of GEPF rules as age 60, right? And it says these benefit calculations are estimated and assume that you will retire at 60, which means the figures that you're seeing on the left-hand side here, the monthly pension that you are noticing, the lump sum gratuity, these are figures not now, these are figures as at age 60. Now it goes on further to say, if you are older than 60, so if you are older than 60, your retirement figures are still calculated, but now it's estimated to age 65, right? Which means the value that you're seeing here is always forward calculated, okay? Then it's telling you further, if you choose to retire before you turn 60 or 65, your estimated benefits reflected on the statement will be adjusted. So notice the fine print is there. Now, why is this so essential, right, to understand? Let's head over into the iPad so that I give you more clarity again on how to see this, right? You see, at some stage, you'll have to make this critical decision on whether you should be retiring or resigning from GEPF. And in order for you to make that decision, you want to ensure that the information you have on hand is accurate. Now, what's taking place at the moment is this might be where you are right now. This is the current point. And if you are getting a statement right now, the figures that you're seeing are as at that date, right? Now, what's accurate right now on your statement is your resignation value. And the reason this is accurate, it's simple because resignation might happen now, right? So it's not something that might happen in the future or 5 years from now. They want to give you information if you are resigning, what would be the figure right now. Now, I know you might be thinking, which I also feel as well, the statement itself should show you your retirement figures as of now, because that allows you to compare this a lot better, right? But it does not do that. As you've seen now in the fine print, when GEPF's showing you your statement, they're forward calculating it either to 60 or 65. So it's 60 or 65. Now, why is this something that's important, right? It's because when you are running your calculation, let's take the case of this member. And again, if you are before 60 or 65, this will be the case for you. Now, the member that I was engaging with, that member is 55 years old. So when we were doing the comparison of retiring and resigning, having a look at this member's statement, we are looking at a resignation value that's as at age 55, right? Because that's how old the member is right now. So we're doing the calculation based on those figures. But then we want to compare it to retirement because we want to see, is it better for this member to retire or resign? And when we start to do the comparison, we now are comparing a retirement figure as at age 60. So notice the difference. Now, what would take place? Why is the 5 years so essential? your resignation value now, compared to what it would be in 5 years' time, should be a lot higher, right? Because GEPF is a defined benefit fund. So unless they adjust the formula, you should see that the resignation figure is a lot higher, which means your retirement value is going to be fixed, but the resignation value is going to be a lot higher. Now, I'll show it to you shortly when we get to a statement, because the statement that I've pulled out in my test example, it's just 1 month before the member turns 60, right? So you can understand this a lot better, and I'll do the calculations with you so you can see it. But as I'm explaining, if in the case of this member or even yourself, if you are not yet 60, meaning you are younger than 60, you need to know that your retirement figures are not accurate, right? It's calculated as though you, or as at age 60, which means future calculated. It means if you have to leave earlier, let's say you want to leave before 60, right? This is where GEPF is going to charge you a penalty, right? The benefits are going to be reduced. Now, why this is essential? Because sometimes members are not aware of it. So if you don't know that the benefits are calculated in future, you might assume, hey, if you are leaving right now, these are the figures that you are going to get. And if you submit your paperwork and you're heading into retirement, it's going to be a big surprise to you that you're getting far less than what you expected to receive, right? Or again, if you are aiming at comparing retirement and resignation, it's a bit difficult to compare it if the figures are different. Now, when you get to age 60, please be mindful, right? I had another situation with a member who liked retiring because at age 60, automatically GEPF is running the calculation to 65. So it looked very good on paper, right? But when I showed this member the exact details and the fine print, exactly what I've shared with you now, suddenly the member realized, hey, this is not the benefits I'm going to get now, it's benefits that I'll get at age 65. So you want to be extremely mindful of this. Now let's go have a look again at the test example so that you can see it. Now again, I'm comparing the GEPF statement that I have, right, which is my test example. You want to be analyzing a few things, right? One, you want to start to have a look at what's the lump sum benefit that you can get. And two, you want to start to have a look at what's the income that you're going to receive. Now we can start to compare those benefits, right? For now, remember from an income perspective, there are different options that you get if you are resigning. But let's go have a look at the lump sum gratuity for this particular member. Again, we're looking at what would happen if the member had to retire. And what happens, what is the lump sum the member gets if the member has to resign, right? We'll just do this as a comparison. And then I want you to do it on your statement so that you can start to run the comparison again for yourself. And I'll tell you one more secret, right, on how you can overcome this challenge. So let's head over onto the member statement. Notice I'm going to write the figures down, but if the member has to retire, the lump sum gratuity, I'm rounding the figure up, it's 1,257,000. So if the member has to retire, that's the lump sum gratuity, right, that the member would receive. Now notice I'm pulling out a statement just 1 month before the member turns 60, right? Because that way the resignation value is a lot more accurate. Now, how do I calculate this? I now want to figure out what's the 1/3 value of the resignation amount. So the resignation amount is 5,120,000. I'm going to round the figure up. So you should see my calculator up now, 5,120,000. And I'm dividing this by 3. Why I'm dividing by 3? Because I want to calculate what's the 1/3 value, right? Now that's 1,706,600. So we can then compare the difference between the two, right? And this is why it's important to have the figures to be calculated around the same age, okay? You notice here for this member, the retirement figure is 1,257,000. The resignation figure is 1,706,000. There's a big variance between the two, right? In fact, we can calculate the difference between the two. Let's head this up on a calculator so that you can see it. 1,706,000 minus 1,257,000. So there's a shortfall here of 449,000, right? So it's short 449. This is a sizable amount, right? I'm sure you'd agree. This is close to R500,000 difference between the two. Now, can you see why it's critically important to ensure that when you're getting the calculations done, you want to ensure that your retirement figure and your resignation figure are close enough, right? So you either are aiming at a resignation closer to 60, so you want to try and see, hey, what would the value be at 60? Or you want to check in with your HR or reach out to GEPF. If you are leaving before 60, you want to check with them, okay, what would be the value if I had to leave now before 60, right? So they can run a calculation for you So then again, the comparison becomes a lot more meaningful. Now, also from an income perspective, notice what I shared with you on the member statement here. It's also forward projected to age 60, right? Same on the resignation. If your lump sum capital that you're getting on resignation at 60, it's going to be a lot more. It means the monthly income you're going to receive is a lot higher, right? And then again, the comparison becomes a lot easier. Now, sharing with you the secret, it's easy for you to gain access to something that's a bit more accurate, right? All you need to do is reach out to your HR and tell them that you want to get a statement. Let's assume that you are aiming at resigning, or you want to run the comparison with resignation. If you are a year or 2 years or so before you reach 60, then you want to reach out to them to say, hey, can you give me a calculation as at 60, right? And this is possible to do within GEPF because everything is on formula, right? The same, you can work backwards. So if you're wanting to leave, let's say, way before 60, then in that instance, you can reach out to HR, again, GEPF, ask them to give you a value, a statement as at the age that you want to leave, right? So that way you're getting to compare apples with apples. One last thing I want you to be mindful of, if you are older than 60, right, all the same rules apply and all the same fine print is still going to apply. What's happening is instead of calculating to age 60, GEPF will calculate to 65. So if you are leaving before 65, you then want to start to have a look at what the calculations are so that you line these two figures up side by side, right? And you get them as accurate as possible. Very important for you to get this one right. If you're needing assistance, I'll put my email address in the description of the YouTube video, so you're welcome to reach out and I'll give you clarity on how to compare the difference between the two. I hope you found the video helpful. If you have, give me a thumbs up. Critically important, especially if you want to ensure that you're making the right choice between retiring and resigning. Please ensure that you pass the video along to friends and colleagues, other GEPF members, because you want to empower them, right, with the knowledge that you are receiving. Again, if you've not already subscribed to the videos, then I encourage you to do so that you're able to get this content as soon as I produce it. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.